Okay, this is my first video. I'll be doing a teaching on Titus Chapter 1. I'm going to do a three-part series explaining the entire book of Titus using the Torah, the prophets, and the New Testament, all the writings of Paul. So where I want to start here is Titus Chapter 1, verse 1. Shaul, Paul, a servant of Elohim and an emissary of Yeshua Messiah, according to the belief of Elohim's chosen ones and knowledge of the truth according to the reverence. Okay, so what is this truth according to the reverence? Let's go look. Okay, and this truth that is being talked about is in Psalm 119, verse 142. Your righteousness is righteousness forever, and your Torah is truth. Here's another precept. This is in John 17:17. Set them apart in your truth. Your word is truth. So what is this word being talked about in John chapter 17, verse 17? It is explained in 1 John chapter 2, verse 3 through 7. And by this we know that we know him if we guard his commands. The one who says, I know him, and does not guard his commands is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoever guards his word, truly the love of Elohim has been perfected in him. By this we know that we are in him. The one who says he stays in him ought himself also to walk, even as he walked. Beloved, I write no fresh command to you, but an old command, which you have had from the beginning. The old command is the word which you heard from the beginning. So this has been heard from the beginning. Continue reading in Titus chapter 1, this is verse 2. In expectation of everlasting life, which Elohim, who does not lie, promised before times of old. So what does that sound like? From the beginning, right? So what is this promise since the times of old? Ephesians chapter 1, verse 3 and 4 says, Blessed be the Elohim and Father of our Master Yeshua Messiah, who has blessed us with every spiritual blessing in the heavenlies in Messiah, even as he chose us in him before the foundation of the world, that he should be set apart and blameless before him in love. What is this love? This love is in 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of Elohim, that we guard his commands, and his commands are not heavy. Continue reading in Titus chapter 1, starting in verse 3. But in its own times has manifested his word through preaching, with which I was entrusted according to the command of Elohim our Savior. To Titus, a genuine child according to our common belief, favor, compassion, peace from Elohim the Father and the Master Yeshua Messiah our Savior. The reason I left you in Crete was that you should straighten out what was left undone and appoint elders in every city as I commanded you. If anyone is unreprovable, the husband of one wife, having believing children, not accused of loose behavior or unruly, for an overseer has to be unreprovable as a managing one of Elohim, not self-pleasing, not wroth, not given to wine, no brawler, not greedy for filthy gain. And these things in Titus chapter 1, verse 7 are explained in greater detail in Galatians chapter 5, verse 19 through 21. And the works of the flesh are well known, which are these: adultery, whoring, uncleanness, indecency, idolatry, drug sorcery, hatred, quarrels, jealousy, fits of rage, selfish ambitions, dissensions, factions, envy, murderers, drunkenness, wild parties, and the like, of which I forewarn you, even as I also said before, that those who practice such as these shall not inherit the reign of Elohim. Continue reading in Titus chapter 1, verse 8. But kind to strangers, a lover of what is good, sensible, righteous, set apart, self-controlled, clinging to the trustworthy word, according to the teaching, in order to be able both to encourage by sound teaching and to convict those who oppose it. What's this trustworthy word in verse 9 of Titus chapter 1? Psalms 119, verse 86. All your commands are trustworthy. They have persecuted me with lies. Help me. Continue reading in Titus Chapter 1, verse 10. For there are many unruly men, senseless talkers and deceivers, especially those of the circumcision, whose mouths have to be stopped, who upset entire households, teaching what they should not teach for the sake of filthy gain. One of them, a prophet of their own, said, Cretans are always liars, evil beasts, and lazy gluttons. This witness is true. Therefore rebuke them sharply in order for them to be sound in the belief, not paying attention to the Jewish fables and commands of men who turn from the truth. What are these Jewish fables talked about in verse 14? The answer is in Romans chapter 10, verse 1 through 3. Truly, brothers, my heart's desire and prayer to Elohim for Israel is for deliverance. For I bear them witness that they have an ardor for Elohim, but not according to knowledge. For not knowing the righteousness of Elohim and seeking to establish their own righteousness, they did not subject themselves to the righteousness of Elohim. I'll continue reading verse 4 as well. I feel it's important. For Messiah is the goal of the Torah, unto righteousness to everyone who believes. The goal of Torah, he's our example. Continue reading in Titus, starting at verse 15. Indeed, all matters are clean to the clean, but to those who are defiled, are unbelieving, no matter is clean. But both their mind and conscience are defiled. They profess to know Elohim, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient and unfit for any good work. And how do we know Yahweh, our Elohim? Remember 1 John chapter 2, verse 3 through 6. And by this we know that we know him if we guard his commands. The one who says, I know him, and does not guard his commands is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoever guards his word, truly the love of Elohim has been perfected in him. By this we know that we are in him. So by not keeping his commands, we deny Yahweh by being abominable and disobedient. How do we know what is abominable? Well, we can go to Leviticus 11, which tells us what meats are abominable. Also, Leviticus 18, verse 22, and Leviticus 20, verse 13. We can flip to Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 9 and 10 now. And he said to me, Go in and see the evil abominations which they are doing there. And I went in and looked and saw all kinds of creeping creatures, abominable beasts, and all the idols of the house of Israel, carved all around on the walls. These things are abominations. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 13. Stop bringing futile offerings, incense. It is an abomination to me. New moons, Sabbaths, the calling of gatherings. I am unable to bear unrighteousness and assembly. So how are we disobedient to Yahweh, our Father? By not keeping his Torah, his law. 1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Everyone doing sin also does lawlessness, and sin is lawlessness.